Okay, I think we'll get started. So welcome to the Helix webinar series. Today's session is on transforming the user experience with ITSM. So we're going to be covering intelligent ticket resolution with Agent Assist. This is the first of two sessions that we're running today. This one is for APAC India, just mainly down to the time that we're starting. Hopefully you'll find this session interactive and we'll get started and do some intros. So just so you know, us as hosts, we are going to be running this as a webinar series. So this is the first edition and we will be running one next month as well. We're just working on some topics to interest you and we'll be sending out for further communication about which sessions will be coming up over the next coming months. So firstly, my name is Samantha Hudson dos Santos Figueira. I work as a Senior Program Manager at BMC. So most of you may have joined other webinars or our AI Ops series. So if there is any content that you're interested in, please reach out. I try to get through most of our product managers. One of them, Harshad, will introduce himself when he goes through his slides. So Harshad will be joining me as our Principal Product Manager for ITSM. Again, there's a way to connect through LinkedIn. These are links that you can click on to take you directly to our pages. And then we're also being joined by Des Sanders. He will be working with us on this series and we'll be putting the HelixGPT BMC messaging. So let's get started. And before we get started, just have a look at the legal notice. We will be sharing some roadmap content. So I just ask for you to just take a look at this. We will be sharing this content post-event and it will also be going on to our social media. So again, if anyone will be doing any talking towards the end or want to ask questions, if you do need to change your name, it's probably a good time to do that now. So I'm now going to hand over to Des, who's going to just talk about the BMC messaging and do his introduction. Over to you, Des.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm Des Sanders. I'm a senior solution engineer within BMC. I've been around BMC for about 10 years in various different roles, but primarily around anything to do with automation. And my current role is no different, right? I'm here to talk around or be the go-to-market lead for HelixGPT, right? Which essentially is a really advanced form of automation. And what's important is being around BMC for such a long time, we've had AI in our platform for forever, right? We've had the predictability. We were able to understand, where you've got outages, and where you've got an outage, we're also able to understand what is the root cause of that outage. And what's good about that is, I've got some good dashboards, I've got some really good insights as to what I can do. But with the advent of generative AI, it has really changed the way that we can actually address problems today, because we now have a how-to or what are the next steps which can be applied to the problems that have occurred within my environment. Now, what does Gen AI mean for us and for our customers? It's a path to growth, right? It's a path to changing the way that we address problems within your enterprise. Because if you look at generative AI, it's there to understand the wealth of knowledge and the wealth of data that you have within your platform, and to then be able to provide insights and actions on all that information that you have within the platform. And since it is a focal point for the DSOM product sets, across the entire product sets, we're going to make sure that we embed it as part of the platform. Okay, so this is going to be enabling capabilities within, Virtual Agent, within ITSM, within Digital Workplace, within the AI Ops use cases as well, because fundamentally, it's going to be it's part of the platform. Okay, now as we work with Gen AI, we're going to be leveraging the data in the base layer, right? So we know that in the case of what we're talking about today, we've got knowledge sitting all over that place, right? And we want to be able to collate it, make it easy for you to understand and talk about and actually leverage. Okay, so the last thing to think about is, within GPT or generative AI, this is obviously the buzz of the market, right? Everyone's talking about how they can do it today. We know we have done this, right? We've got this tool set. We've had this in the platform for I think since 2022, just before ChatGPT came out. we've had this capability with the platform. We've now made it available within the UI, within the interface, and our customers have got access to these capabilities. Next slide, please. So what is HelixGPT? HelixGPT is the ability to take the large language models that have been developed today, been trained today on terabytes and terabytes of data, and apply that within your business, especially within the service and ops space. Now, the way those models have been trained, they've been trained on huge amounts of internet data, so they know hundreds of different ways to ask questions, answer questions, and in fact, they have got answers to questions within the platform, well, within the models themselves. Those models, whilst they've got answers, also tend to be slightly out of date because those models are trained every so often and not always kept up to date. And that poses a problem because with your business is always changing. Your business is always adding new features. They're always adding new things to new knowledge and new data to the platform. You want to be able to keep up to date with that data. So what we do is we are able to take the data from your service management tool sets, your observability tool sets, even your DevOps tool sets, and overlay that on top of the model. What that gives us is insights and actions and reasoning that it's able to help your service operations teams work better together. Now, some of the important things to remember there is how do I control what it responds to, right? Because we're overlaying it with data from your enterprise data, it's only going to respond to data that is in the platform, right? So we're not using the wealth of knowledge or the information that sits within the brain itself. We use the knowledge that we're providing it and say, well, go and understand this knowledge and give us an enterprise-only data response. Okay, so that means it'll only respond to how do I know what my next ticket is, or what is the solution for my VPN. It won't respond to how do I create a pizza. Okay, so you've got control over that, and that helps to reduce the hallucinations, which is a big problem within the generative AI space, right? It starts creating these weird and wonderful things. What this also allows us to do is to start to put up guardrails to ensure that it only responds in a way that is business-like, right? So I'm not going to go and create poems. I'm not going to go and create songs. I'm not going to go and do any other creative content. I'm going to simply come back with hey, this is the response that the customer needs, because that makes it faster for them to solve their problems and resolve their issues. Next slide, please. So what is the vision in this space, right? So what you saw was the ability to pull data into the platform and then provide some insights. Now, what we're seeing in the AI industries is the simple fact that things are changing and exploding on a daily basis, right? So we're looking at saying, well, let's bring the data into the platform, and let's focus on the enterprise data, right? So your service management, your DevOps, your AI ops information, right? Because that's really important to what we do. But we want to pull that data in, and we want to pull the data in from native sources that you've got within your platform as well, right? So most customers that I'm dealing with at the moment have got SharePoint, they've got Confluence, they've got Snowflake, they've got the Databricks, right? They've got those data lakes that are out there. Now, we want to be able to say, well, let's go and pull the data from there and create those actionable insights. Now, the one thing that we're starting to see, though, is, you've got Copilot, you've got Gemini, you've got all these other bots that are out there. And they're really good at, Copilot's really good at, obviously, Office 365. They're good at Teams. They're good at SharePoint. Gemini is really good at Google Cloud and so on. We don't want to go and actually create all of those different integrations, because that means we start to create different integrations. That means I've got to have a different bot to do different things. And that means that suddenly, I'm getting 4 or 5 or 6 different interfaces just to get information that I need. We think that, we believe that the approach is going to be, a one UI kind of approach. And most of our customers are saying, we're going to either use Copilot, or we're going to use Gemini, or we're going to use HelixGPT. But we want to be able to make it open enough to connect to those platforms. So we start to have the bot-to-bot integrations. That means that if I'm sitting at Copilot and I want to know what is happening with my tickets, I can say, hey, HelixGPT, tell me what's happening with my tickets. It'll be smart enough to go to HelixGPT, which will be smart enough to understand get the right information and publish it back in my interface. And vice versa, right? If I'm in HelixGPT and I want to know what's happening within, I want to put in a Teams conversation, we're going to be able to do that because I can then put that information into my ticket automatically in a summarized format. The last thing to remember is we have an open approach to generative AI, right? We don't build the models within our platform. We leverage the likes of OpenAI, Vertex, or even Azure OpenAI to do this. And we believe this differentiates us from the rest of the market because it gives us the ability to be flexible. It gives us the ability to leverage the best of the market capabilities and not have to increase the costs to our customers. Next slide, please. So what does all of this actually amount to, right? So if I look at the capabilities that are in the platform and what this generative AI unlocks is, if you look at the BMC platform today, we're able to aggregate data at scale. Your ITSM insights, your proactive problem management, your real-time incident correlation is already done today through pattern recognition using Google BERT and those kinds of algorithms. In the AI ops side, we're able to correlate data at scale and come up with a simple, plain, natural language summary of a situation that is occurring within your estate. Now, we're also then starting to be able to surface data. This is something that Harshad is going to be talking about a bit today, right? So surfacing data at the right time in the right context for the right person. Okay, and not only that, well, it means that when the user needs information, it's actually relevant to what they want. Recommendation of actions. So if I look at data at the scale that I've got it at, I can start thinking about, all right, in that data, I've got a lot of resolutions. I've got a lot of knowledge, right? I've got a lot of understanding of the context of all that information as well as what has actually happened. So I can start looking at what is recommending of the next action. So next ticket comes in or next situation that occurs, what are the 4 steps I need to take to do this? Is it create a script? Is it execute an automation? Is it run a few manual steps, right? What are the actions that can be recommended to the user to do that? And that obviously helps to reduce the time to recover. Conversational, this is a no-brainer, right? I want to have an AI that I can converse with 24/7, 365. And that is important because as an end user or as an agent, I want to have the right information based on the knowledge that is existing within the platform. And then creation of content. This is what Gen AI was able to do, right? It's able to create content out of information that is already in the platform, right? Whether it be a script, whether it be a report, whether it even be code to help solve the problem. That is one of the big areas where we're spending our time. I'm going to hand you over to Harshad. Harshad is one of the PMs. I'll let him introduce himself, but we're going to be talking about the agent assist for ITSM. Harshad, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Des. So I am Harshad Burgaonkar, and I work as a principal product manager with the DSOM BU at BMC. And in my role, I work closely with all our stakeholders, internal and external, to bring about AI solutions and AI use cases to the market. So as Des mentioned earlier, HelixGPT is a large part of our AI strategy, and it is going to be a key focus for us this year and the coming months. So today we are happy to announce the launch of the HelixGPT powered Agent Assist for faster resolution of tickets. Now, the one challenge that we are facing today in IT is around increasing number of applications and increasing application complexity, along with the risk of not knowing how to resolve issues that are associated with super niche applications and very, very specific areas within those applications. Traditional search has not been able to respond to these challenges in a way that our new age workforce expects it to, right? And then, of course, as you all know, I don't want to preach to the choir, Today, we look at Gen Zs and millennials and the new age workforce that is staffed largely in IT service desks, right? And of course, they expect newer ways to interact with the application, converse with the application, get recommendations, as Des mentioned. And so here is where the agent assistance feature in the HelixGPT comes in the picture, right? So it gives support agents a search interface that provides a summarized response to the reported incident. And we'll see later in the demo how this response can be a summarization of knowledge from one or more articles, um, and then also how it helps in responding user queries. And queries will term them, will call them as prompts, right? And of course, then HelixGPT returns summarized search results in the specific context of the user's inquiry. The goal of this feature overall is to reduce the time spent through searching through multiple search results, to provide faster, more accurate answers that are fully referenced to the original source documents, and to facilitate more detailed analysis. And that's really the goal of all our HelixGPT use cases, really. With that, I think it's a good segue to launch into the demo, and I'll share um, my screen real quickly here. Let me
Yes,
know if you're able to
see
see
it.
my screen here.
Yes, can you just put it in full screen, or is
I'll
it?
do that. I'll
Thank
do
you.
that. Thank you. Yeah. So here's the case. So it's Monday morning. It's a bright and sunny day. I get a call from Peter Acito, and it's a really brief call. The user is really hassled. He is What I really understand is he cannot access Helix dashboards, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to really create this incident quick and fast. And on the other hand, when I create this incident, I'm going to really go through the traditional way of working through the incident, right? And then the traditional way of working through the incidents is to go through all these knowledge articles in the resources tab. And then, as you can see, there are a lot of knowledge articles, right? They really span pages and pages across. And I really don't have the time or the energy to go through all these knowledge articles. So what I'm going to do really is I'm going to ask HelixGPT for a quick, succinct, summarized response to this question, which is cannot access Helix dashboards, right? And what I'm really looking for is a summarized answer, which is what I'm getting out here, right? And it gives me a series of steps, and this is what I can share with the user. So what I'll do is I'll just um, quickly send an email to Peter Acito saying, here are the steps that you need to follow to resolve the issue of not being able to access Helix dashboards, right? I'm going to follow this up with a call to Peter to see if he's able to resolve his query, right? But on the call, Peter then informs me that it is not really about Helix dashboards, as such, because he can log into Helix dashboard. It is about, accessing specific catalogs in the dashboard, right? So I get a follow-up prompt, I get a follow-up inquiry from Peter, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to again go back and ask this follow-up prompt to HelixGPT with the hope of getting again summarized answers from knowledge articles, right? And then again, one thing to note here is that I'm really pressed against time. Time is of essence here. I don't really have time to go through all the knowledge articles and figure out what's going on, right? And then again, with this follow-up query, I get again the response to this, prompt, and it says, okay, here is your revised response. Click on so and so, and these are the steps outlined, and so and so forth, right? So again, I'm going to really copy these things again, and this is the real interaction which we see, the one that goes on in support. Thus, I'm going to really again mail it to Peter with the hope of this being able to resolve this issue. Again, I'm going to follow up with a call to Peter. And on the call, again, I get more information, right? I get more information saying that um, it's not about catalogs in general, but it's about specific metadata in the catalog, right? So what Peter was looking for is to add or change the specific metadata in the Helix catalogs, in the catalogs in the Helix dashboards, which he was denied access to, right? So that is exactly his problem, right? So one thing leads to the other. This is what we call the chain of command. thought reasoning. And again, this is what I think Des covered in his initial talk. And again, to get to these fast, so just see how I can get to the answers to these follow-up prompts, follow-up inquiries from the user, right? Um, the it started off as cannot access Helix dashboard inquiry. It turned quickly into not being able to access specific catalogs, and then in the specific catalogs, it turned as something which the user said he was not able to access or change or add metadata to the catalog. And this is really what he or she what they're looking for, right? So again, I'm going to really paste this thing and again send it to Peter. And this time again, I'm going to follow up with a call to Peter. Um, Hopefully, we've had a good conversation. This should resolve the issue. And then this is how it really goes about. And I'm would be happy. I'm happy to see that Peter's issue is resolved, right? But look at the way we've gone about the initial inquiry, and then we have kind of gone into more details of the inquiry and down to the exact thing that needs to be configured, that needs to be changed to get to the catalog elements working, right? Now, the one thing that is really good here to notice that you have all these responses from HelixGPT, but it also lists down the sources, the knowledge article sources from which these have been summarized, right? And so, what we're really working with is a solution that is ring fenced on enterprise data, right? So it is not based on your general internet knowledge. It is not based on something which can hallucinate, which can provide false answers. So you can basically, as an agent, verify these sources below, right? If I really feel that, I really need to basically, validate the steps before I send the response to the user, I can basically go and validate the sources. I can click on them. I can basically kind of do a reconciliation between the knowledge articles and the summarized responses that we get through HelixGPT. And that is the whole goal. That is the whole objective. That is the power of this solution, right? As you could see out here. So at this point, Peter says, "Thank you very much. My issue is resolved, right? And this was really helpful, right? It's really fast. This would have taken me a couple of hours, couple of days. I would have had to go back to the experts, and it would have taken some brainstorming. But given the power of Helix GPT, I am really able to do this to turn this whole thing very fast. So this is the case of getting answers, on a super niche application, on a very niche area within the niche application, right? And you can't really expect the agents know everything about a niche application that is just introduced or that is just launched, and there will be multiple areas within those niche applications, right? So here is where I think the whole power, the whole objective of HelixGPT, comes into picture, right? And then again, I'm able to summarize this whole thing as well, right? In case, I would like to provide a summary of this issue to my senior management or my leadership, right? So again, this is the solution in short and brief. Um, I hope this sounded good to you as well. With that, I'll go back to the presentation, and this is just a start out here. It is not the only solution. We have more features that would be launched as part of Agent Assist in the future, right? And what we're working really is to improve the summarization, right? So the one that you've seen right now on the Ask Helix GPT tab comes really from the knowledge articles within HKM, within RKM, and all of that, right? Within RKM right now. But in our future releases, we'll have the summary, we'll have the summarization, from relevant knowledge articles as well as from resolutions to past similar incidents, right? So it will be a holistic summary, uh, that would emanate from knowledge articles as well as past similar incidents, right? Again, this would be more helpful, this would be more relevant and more accurate, right? So the goal is to make it as accurate as possible. The other feature that we are working on is the ability for agents to be able to pin those knowledge articles to upvote, downvote, the ones that you see on ChatGPT, right? And this is really important for us because we want to have a closed feedback loop. If the answers really help you, we would really expect that the users, the agents, upvote the response so that the response goes back to HelixGPT, and then we can work with that. Even if the response doesn't help, we can work to improve the responses. We can work to improve the model and to optimize the models, right? And then also we've looked at a way to manually send the response today using the email icon in the incident record. But in the future, we just want to add an email icon there, and as soon as you press the icon, the whole thing would come pre-populated. You don't have to copy the response; it would come pre-populated, and you just have to press the send button, right? So that those are actions which are going to make it more powerful, which is going to make the solutions more powerful, right? In addition to that, once you upload this response, we would like to add a summary of that response and the shared knowledge articles to the activity log, right? So that is one thing that we would also do, as part of the of linking the whole process, right, from resolutions to knowledge articles to activity logs, right? In the future, those activity logs will be summarized into resolution notes, and then resolution notes would generate resolution insights. So that's the whole cycle that we want to really complete. That's the whole 9 yards that we want to really kind of complete in this process, right? And then lastly, we've seen the knowledge articles within the recommended knowledge and within the resources tab, right? So today they are ranked by an FTS search, right? But large language models are very powerful. They use semantic similarity, and we would want to use that capability of large language models to rank knowledge articles, under the resources tab, right? So that you see the most relevant knowledge articles first, followed by the ones that are relevant to the issue at hand. So again, these are the upcoming improvements that we plan in the agent assist area. So keep a watch out, on this area. It's going to be more and more interesting, right? As I said, it's a new way to provide a search interface to our agents, uh, which will be more conversational, which would be really, instantaneous, and it will really increase or enhance the experience of our agents, right? Again, then on the next slide, um, yeah. So Sam, if you can move to the next slide there. Sam, can you move to the next slide? Okay, thank
Sorry, I
you.
was having problems.
No problem. Thank you. Yeah. And then again, we keep hearing about these common risks while using Gen AI or large language models, right? And the first one is around hallucination, is around internet knowledge, right? Um, which I think which we've mitigated through the use of fine tuning and context grounding, right? So it is very important to securely harness the correct data sources for your enterprise. Public sources of knowledge, the internet can be dangerous, so we really need to put the scope of knowledge that is captured through generative AI, right? And then we do have tools. We do have the HelixGPT manager, which allows you to provide sources on which to base the responses, right? So you can do all of that without breaching data privacy. You can do all of that without breaching the enterprise security protocols, right? And as we have seen in the demo, we provide references to the knowledge articles that are used, right? And this is to mitigate the issues around hallucination, incorrect information, or any falsehoods that would be there in internet data, right? So this is one of the key things that we have, carefully and cautiously worked upon, right? Secondly, Helix GPT has an embedded layer, which is a domain and tenant specific model, right? So that's again, one more layer of safety that we've added into Helix GPT. And then lastly, Helix GPT, gives your enterprise the power, not only to restrict the scope of your queries, but also, and it also gives you the flexibility to bring your own models, right? So you can choose from vendors such as Azure or OpenAI and Google, and then this would be a way to really, extend your investments in Gen AI to even ITSM, right? So we have this whole thing about bringing our own models, and those can be saved. We can synchronize them with the advances in GPT and LLM technologies, right? So again, that's the flexibility that we want to allow our customers with. Um, so these are three advantages. These are three unique advantages that comes with Helix GPT. So and then we've worked with many customers to really kind of design this in a way that we have proper answers. There is a layer of safety and the option to bring your own models. In summary. And then again, on the next slide, Sam, if you can move to the next slide. Yeah. So here is our unique marquee program around design partnership, right? So we listen to our customers, we collaborate with our customers. We really want our customers to participate with us in the preview of future concepts, future features. The voice of customers is very important for us, right? Their needs, the gaps is what really drives our innovation here at R&D, right? Their concerns, their ideas are taken into account, and we discuss with them, their needs, their requirements, right? So we do have the opportunity for you to experience our solutions firsthand, and then also an opportunity for you to be an influencer in future BMC features and applications, right? Um, so I would really, invite you to join our design partnership program. It's a marquee program, and I we really have the honor today here of having Angela, who leads the program for us. She's our leader on this program, which is design partnership. She's on the call here right now. So, if you really want to receive, an invite to this program, let us know. You can also join the program. Um, the code for that is on the next slide. Yeah, so you can use this QR code to join our program and be a design partner. Angela, if you want to really quickly introduce yourself, it's a great honor to have you here on this call
Yeah,
today.
yeah, thanks, Harshad. Yes, hello, everyone. I'm Angela Sandoval. I lead our customer design partnership research program at BMC. Maybe some of you have participated in the past, but the real focus is to capture feedback from customers, learn and understand their processes and their needs. And we work really closely, and we do this together with our with like Harshad and all of our product management team. So this is what we do, and it's really important for us to make sure that our applications actually meet the needs of our customers. If you have any questions, feel free to directly email me, or if you sign up here, all it does is require you to put in your name, areas of interest within our products, and then we will go ahead and send you notifications about when we're running various activities. You can agree to participate or not. You can completely ignore those emails if you'd like. There's no pressure at all, but it'll actually give you an opportunity to see what's going on in activities which you may want to participate in. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Angela. Thanks for the introduction. So before we go to the Q&A, I just want to pull this references slide up. So we've got quite a lot of content that we're still building. We work very closely with our documentation department. This is the first of the series. So you're getting to hear about HelixGPT first. We will be doing this on a monthly basis, and we will, where possible, bring Angela in because she's always looking for customers that want to share feedback or partners or just come and work with us closer. And again, we will be sending out surveys. So when the survey comes out for this event, if there's anything you want to be more involved with, or you've got recommendations about certain topics you want us to cover for this series, then please reach out and let us know. It will take you a couple of minutes. All the content that we're sharing today will be put into YouTube. They'll also be put onto the webinar page, and you will receive a thank you email with anything that's shared today. So hopefully this has been useful. So I think we'll go to the Q&A. I'm going to just stop sharing my screen so I can unmute everyone. And thank you everyone for your patience. We tend to leave you on muted just so we can get through the slides. So I'm now unmuting you, and I think we have a question actually. Harshad, do you want to take Francois's question live, if that's okay? And hello, Francois. I know you did message out on LinkedIn, so I was expecting you to come today, so welcome. Feel free to come off mute. And Harshad.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, on-prem capabilities on HelixGPT will set us apart from our competitors, surely. And then this is really going to be one of our key differentiators, with respect to our competitors, right? So if you look at our key competitors, they do not really have the on-prem capabilities for GPT, right? So it's either a SaaS or no GPT, right? But this is really going to be our key differentiator. And I would really encourage you, I would love to have you as part of our design partnership sessions and workshops, right? So I guess We'll send you the details of the design partnership, think later, after this call, and yeah, really look forward to working with you on that.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Harshad.
Yeah. Any additional questions on that?
No, I think, I had a chat with Des earlier this week, and, from our perspective, if we respond to private cloud customers, having that offering that we can provide private cloud customers and customers that's deploying Helix in AWS, in their own AWS planes and so forth, as I mentioned, and as you said, will set us apart. And yes, if you can share the details around starting to get involved, happy to do that.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you, Francois.
Sorry, just Harshad, there was another question that came in, which asked, can tickets and fields and templates be auto-filled with HelixGPT? I know we've got some stuff in the roadmap there. Can you talk about?
So yeah, exactly. So this is one area that we keep bumping into very often, right? And then I just want to really quickly, if I'm allowed, just go back to the sharing again, and show you what we really have in mind with respect to filling of these fields, right? Now we talked about this issue in terms of Helix dashboard, really, right? And one of the things here is that can we really look at pre-populating some of these fields out here, like categories and all of that thing, right? And that's been top of our mind for some time now, right? So based on things like description, based on things like summary or whatever you have in the incident form, what we really want to do is we really want to have GPT-based cognitive classifiers, which can really recommend the operational category, things like product category, and so on and so forth at the start, right? When you resolve the ticket, you can also recommend the other categories, right? Not only that, we also are working towards recommending the assignee on the incident using HelixGPT. So those are really part of our roadmap plans out here. I can't be more specific about when this is going to be G8 or when this is going to be launched, but right now it looks like it is more on the 6 to 9 months horizon for us, right? But again, this is one area, as you could see, which is working right now. We are working on this very actively in our labs. We just want to make sure that there is a level of accuracy, feel confident on these use cases, so as to be able to launch this to our customers. But great question. I think this is something which is really top of our mind.
Thank you, Harshad. Thanks, Des. Do we have any other questions from anybody else that's on the line? Feel free to unmute yourself or raise your hand or put a question into the Q&A.
I just got a question around the AI service management. How does the HelixGPT fit into the AI service management service?
Yeah. So HelixGPT will be a major part, of our AI service management, right? And then if I may really talk about, our strategy here, our AI strategy is going to revolve, largely around HelixGPT, but there are other components as well. I would love to bring up this slide. Let me look at this thing. Yeah. So we have 3 pillars as part of our AI service management strategy. One is causal, the other is predictive, and the third is generative, right? So all these 3 areas would receive focus, as part of our AI strategy, right? Generative is becoming a huge part of our focus because thanks to the power and advances in large language model technologies, right? But then again, there are predictive use cases also that we're working to resolve, right? And we'll continue our focus to put that in the market as well, launch that as well in the future. There would be causal use cases, there would be predictive, and there would be generative as well. So it's going to be a very nice, tricky balance between these 3 areas, and more focus on generative, but we're not going to lose our focus on the other 2.
Thanks, Harshad.
Yeah.
Thanks for the question. We have another question in the Q&A from Azar. Azar, feel free to come off of mute as well. Just asking a question, possibly in the future, is there a plan to integrate this with soft phone systems to process real-time call transcripts and auto recommend summarize?
Yeah, exactly. And and this is something which we have been discussing for some time now. And I'm sure, Azhar, you know about the smart recorder thing out here, right? So today, the whole the way this works is really this works in the as a manual thing, right? So you have to really manually enter the user's query. It starts with certain things like you have to enter at the rate and so on and so forth, and then basically go ahead and enter the query, right? At some point, we really would like to integrate this with an aware sort of a phone, soft phone, or whatever it is, right? And in that integration, you would love to have classifiers which can predict entities like the person's name, right? It could be the company's name, it could be the intent of their call, right? And this could really help us to kind of fill this incident and create a fully qualified incident, right? So if you're really able to do that on the one hand, we are then able to create these tickets or incidents in real time, with no or very little intervention from the agents, right? And that is really our North Star, our goal with HelixGPT, right? To create these incidents, to be able to predict all these fields in the incidents like categories, support groups, and then to use, as we've seen, HelixGPT to also provide resolutions to these incidents. So that's basically, what our North Star looks like in the service desk area.
Hopefully that's answered your question, Azhar. Feel free to come off mute if you want to talk to Harshad or Des.
Yeah, and then there is, I think, one question from Francois is that, will this become available in the digital workplace as well, right? So Des, you want to take this up or
Yeah, absolutely. So within DWP, we've already got this capability with the HelixGPT, right? So, like I said, HelixGPT is fundamentally enabling capabilities within every one of our tool sets. And digital workplace is no different. So today, already, if you go into DWP and you click on, the search bar, it will not only search, but it will go through all the search results and generate a response based on the question that I've asked, right? So we call that feature chat with your knowledge base. And it will then summarize the data as if it was a normal virtual agent or chatbot approach.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay. Does anyone else want to talk? Azhar, I'm conscious we moved on to Francois after I did see you'd come off mute. Did you want to ask anything else? Can you hear us? I can see you've come off mute. I know sometimes people have problems with connection. Not sure if you can hear us. Maybe not. Okay, so we have 15 minutes left. We don't have any further questions, so I'll just do another request. If anyone does, please come off mute. Harshad, I don't know if there's anything else that you want to do to kind of summarize the call, or Des, if there's anything else that you want to add. I know we will be doing this session again later with the US and an EMEA team. So I will put all the questions together. So if we do get any interesting questions, I'll be sharing that as one blog post on communities so you can see and get access to it. I don't know if you want to add anything else, guys.
The one thing I'd like to add is, at the moment, I'm helping to run probably 9 or 10 different proof of concepts across the globe in the space, right? We've also got our customer success team, which are working in lockstep with me in this case, right? We've got another 30 odd customers we're looking at getting up to date on HelixGPT. So we've got a lot of knowledge in this space. We've got a lot of experience in this space. We want to help you. So if you've got any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Don't hesitate to reach out to Harshad as well. And let's see what we can do to make it successful in the space, because this is going to be exploding. And I personally believe that BMC, we're ahead of this game. And we've got a period of time where we can absolutely, be a big difference for your organization. And I think that's just something that we want to be able to drive with you. Thanks, Sam.
Thanks, Des. Okay, last question we have from Azhar, who is actually having microphone issues. Do we have any publicly available case studies, demos that they can learn more or use?
Yeah, so at the moment we do have publicly available documentation that can be used to learn more about this thing. We can share that along with our deck later, and you can use that to know more about these use cases. In terms of case studies, I'm not sure because this is recently launched capability. So yeah, of course, there are early adopters, and we are really working with them to get their feedback, to fine tune the solution. But I'm really afraid that at this point we don't really have any case studies that could be made publicly available.
Yeah. I mean, we're happy to jump on a call and talk you through this as well, right? So if you want to do a one-to-one or one with your organization, we're happy to do something similar like this, but obviously more targeted at your organization as well, your pains.
I do know as well, I'm working with our architect team that are actually designing a demo environment that customers can follow along with us. It's still in early adoption, but once that's available, that's something I'll also be happy to share. And it's likely that we will set up a webinar just to walk through some of those use cases as well. So yeah, watch this space. And obviously, as we go along in this series, which is monthly, we'll be working with different product managers, starting to demonstrate and showcase use cases. And then we're hoping that the environment should be ready. So I'll definitely be reaching out to the customer base and partners. Okay. So if there is
thank you. This has been a great opportunity for us. I just want to say thank you to all the participants. Thanks to Sam as well.
Yeah, thank you. And we'll look forward to speaking to more customers and partners later on. But again, any questions, I will be sending out in the next 24, 48 hours all the content from today. And I will create that blog post so you can look at some of the questions. And as we said, we're all reachable. We've got our LinkedIn profile. Some of you are already connected to us. We'll look forward to speaking with you. Okay, I will give you back 10 minutes or so of your time. Have a good rest of the day, everyone. Thank you for your attendance. Thank you, Harshad and Des, for co-hosting with me, and Angela for also joining us. And we'll reach out to everyone very soon. Have a good day.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.